What's up, everyone? CR2 here. Hope you're doing well. We are back. I know it's been some time since the last guide. Just computer issues, streaming issues, and just outright not a lot of time thanks to work. But otherwise, we're back. And this time we are doing 87s at Iowa, specifically Iowa 2025 scan, not 2011 scan. We are on week 8, coming to week 8 of the season, I believe. But really quickly, some notes. The grip is in the smoother, darker patches of the turns. The high line is usable in 1 and 2 to some degree, but not at all, in my opinion, in 3 and 4. Just something in the way of how you approach turn 1 compared to turn 3. It kind of really determines whether that highest line is usable or not. So, but we'll definitely be going over that really quickly. Track temperature 83. 45 of track use, 45%, and quite breezy at some times. Kind of coming across the track, you might deal with loose off of turn 2 depending on wind gusts. I'm not really quite sure how that affects the car, but pay attention to this, it might affect you. And just my personal preferences of settings, go up a few clicks on the brake bias. You want to keep your rear happy. Yeah, keep your rear tires happy because that's your drive off. And plus 10, you're in the turns quite a bit on this track. Find yourself a comfy steering offset. And just know that this track isn't really brake marker or turn-in marker friendly. Turn 3 is pretty easy, just slightly past Iowa Speedway on the wall for qualifying. And just be careful of either tight or loose off of turn 4, depending on when you get on throttle and how hard. Oh boy, yep. And just make sure you don't brake too late, because that's what happens. I don't think I set up a... Nope, I did not. So let that be a quick demonstration of what happens when you brake too late for turn 1. Come on, let's get the reset, please. Hard on throttle once you're turning down the banking. And you kind of just got to feel out a marker for turn 1. Way too low. I can do that better. Too slow rather for 3 and 4. Sliding a little bit. Come on, come on, come on, come on. You can see just how tough it is. And that's good for a 25.26. That's fairly competitive in my opinion. If you can manage a 25.1 consistently, you're very likely going to be starting top 5. If even top 3, or hell, even pole every time. Qualifying here, in my opinion, is a little bit tough because there's just not really... You don't want to rely on visual markers, but that's kind of how I do it for qualifying laps and such. So, gonna hop on out of the car really quickly just to get you guys a chase camera view. Just be careful of push or loose as you approach the restart zone. not really a usable marker for 1 and 2. Brake shortly after Iowa Speedway on the wall. You want to be lower for sure on this turn. I had probably lost a tenth. And there you go, 25.26. I'm pretty sure, yeah, just be aware this track temp might be different. And let's get on out here. So really quickly, this track is all about discipline. Discipline, throttle timing, really. But, excuse me. Really all about discipline. Be patient on throttle. Go for that late apex. Brake at the end of Iowa Speedway. And you want to just ease the car down there. I could have done this a little bit better. You want to wait until that 300 meter marker, I believe it is, to pit road. It may actually be 300 feet marker. But that's pretty much your on throttle marker for exit of turn 4. See a little bit of trail braking, keep it low, be patient on throttle. Exit off turn 4 is a little bit similar to Richmond in my opinion, just keep it low. Don't wash out to the wall too early. Once you see that Menards green billboard in your windshield view, I feel like it's a pretty good on throttle visual marker, but do your best to not rely on that. You want to rely on feeling in the wheel, sound in the engine. Do your best to not rely on visual markers. Carried a little bit too much speed. You see how much time we lose? Let me show you what happens if you're too early on throttle. By even just a bit, we're pushing towards that wall, gotta lift. You see again, pushing, yeah, it's not bad off of turn 2, it's a little more forgiving. I'm gonna try a little bit of a later apex for turn 2. Now, to me, it feels like you can use almost any line you want so long as you're within the darker patches in the corners. Just otherwise, you gotta be low line at all times for qualifying, because just outright to me, that feels the fastest most consistently. Try to get a little bit later into that darker patch. Try to utilize it. See, now I feel like I'm slightly overdriving. You don't really want to wash towards the wall until you're almost to the end of that, almost to the end of the restart zone. Now just know, this race is 100 laps long. Fuel is good for easily more than that, so do not pit under green if you do not have to, because you will lose time, you will not make it up. little bit of addition to that, I know it might be a little bit difficult to find the time to do this, but seriously, run 100 laps consecutively in practice. And just because people who can keep the tires happy through 100 laps green, they will be prepared. They will be prepared. They might fall back a little bit to start the race, but once you're beyond like lap 50 green, they will make up ground, and they will just walk away from anybody that's going too hard from lap 1. And this is very much just take what the car gives you every lap. If you miss a little bit, that's okay. Just don't try to take too much from the car. That's how you kill the right front, and if you're really stomping it on throttle off of turn 4, that's how you kill the right rear. Alright, so I think I found a marker for turn 1. I'll pause the sim and point that out next time around. Here we go. Alright, so you see this right here, just, I don't know what the heck it is. It's something that sticks out from above the safer barriers, but just behind the fence posts. That's my braking marker for turn 1. I know it's ridiculous, very obscure thing to use as a brake marker, but that's literally the only thing I see. If you guys find something that works better, by all means go for that, but this right here is what I'm using. Go a couple clicks down on the brake bias just to see how it's going to feel. A little too soon on throttle. I was fighting the car to make that exit. Try a slightly different line. And that doesn't, I was on throttle too soon. See how we got a lift? This might just be kind of my previous practice bias, I'll call it, where you're hardwired from the first thing you practice, and to change it is really, really hard. But to me, in turns 3 and 4, it's all low line. I'm trying to find a different line for that. You definitely have to utilize a smoother track, though. Pushing, pushing, pushing. Yeah. Alright. The high line for 1 and 2 is usable. See right here. We're not losing that much time. In fact, we're even gaining on the back straight. and you can see this just is not usable. Slight push, just too early on throttle. Slightly too early on throttle. And I want to quote one of the JKR members of, I want to quote Jeff Romeko. I hope I said your last name correctly, man. I'm sorry if I did not. And ironically, it's from the same track. I think it was Old Iowa, though. It was Cars Tour at Old Iowa Scan, where he had said it's a game of throttle timing, brake timing too as well. Where if you're off of it by millimeters or milliseconds, he may have said something along that line, you're just not the fastest. And it kind of feels the same way here, where it's like if you're too early on throttle, exiting the turns, you're going to push like crazy. Slightly too late, you might be dealing with crazy loose. That's just what it feels like to me, though. Another click down. 2 more clicks down. There we go. Oh, too early on throttle. Excuse me. Seems to me like the fall off. Oh yeah. Highline is very much usable for 1 and 2. The fall off to me appears to stop probably somewhere in the 26.6, 26.7 range. I of course have got to nab a couple consecutively great laps just to find that out for everyone. Too early on throttle. Three and 4, you can change your lineup a little bit just to change the direction of your car for the exit off 4. So definitely feel that out for yourself and find what feels most comfy but also fastest for you. And of course, don't touch the apron. I didn't mean to do that intentionally, but don't touch the apron. It makes the car mega angry. Do not touch the apron. What lap are we on for this run? I think we just completed lap 30, so cool. Yep. And we're really seeing that throttle timing. What it looks like when you're on it, what happens when you're off of it. You have got to be patient on throttle. I do like that cut down line for exit of 2. That sets you up really nicely to make some passes off of turn 2. Turn 3 and 4 is really the tougher side in my opinion. So, in my opinion, just a little bit preemptively, we're going to test this out in a few laps. I think a 2-tire call is going to be the way to go. If even there's still 50 laps to go when you got a yellow, because right side tires at this track just offers so much better natural rotation versus 4 new tires. And just, I don't know why, or we know why. But you would think with 50 laps to go still, 4 tires would prevail halfway through that remaining lap count. And it just doesn't. The same thing goes for the old Iowa scan. Not too early on throttle. Okay, so we're gonna come in and put on some right side tires, no fuel. I really want to see what the right front tire looks like.
Pit box in 10, 5, 3, 2, 1. Right here.
Alright, not terrible. Could be a little bit better on not wear, but tire temperature in my opinion for the right front. So just a little bit more care needed for the right front.
Okay, punch it.
That was a 26.76 for our last full speed lap on the original set of tires. Way much better natural rotation. The car is pretty much almost turning itself. Don't touch that apron. You can see that fall off just slowly creeping back to our original lap times, but it's just in the way that right side tires offers the rotation. Sure, at some point you might be lapping the same times as somebody who took 4 tires, but they're fighting the car way more than you. How much fuel did we have? Yeah, I could probably say 13 gallons at the time of the pit stop, so maybe add, say, 2 to 4 gallons of fuel for balance purposes. But do not fill it all the way up. I'm pretty sure that will make the car way too loose. Give it one more lap here. Can go for a crazy low exit off of Ford just to straighten it out. And yeah, so 2 tires may be the call. Heck, could be 4 for all we know, but I think it's going to be a 2-tire call. Unless you get a yellow with probably still more than 50 to go. It's really, really tough, but certainly probably a yellow within 40 to go is going to be 2 tire calls all the way. It just offers much, much better natural rotation versus 4 new tires, and perhaps throw in a little bit of extra fuel so you can keep that natural rotation a little bit longer. But in my opinion, it is definitely a tight leaning car set. So track temperature 88. Wind might play a factor. That might explain the tight off of turn 2. Kind of hitting a car on the left side more than the rear. And 3 and 4 probably just tight on entry depending on wind speed. But definitely be aware of tight off of 4 depending on where you get back on throttle. But pretty well, guys. If you're good at the old Iowa scan, you'll very likely be good here. If you're good at Richmond, you'll very likely run good here as well. Kind of similar approaches to Richmond. Difference, I believe, is that Iowa just has more banking in the turns. But in short, guys, stick to the darker patches. The high line is a little bit useful in 1 and 2. Definitely use that to set yourself up for a very late cut down exit and get on the power strong to set up passes. 3 and 4 is the tough corner. I think you're pretty locked down to the lowest line. You can change up a little bit how your car is positioned, pointed rather, let me rephrase, when you're at this part of the track. You can set yourself up to where you're taking a really low exit, get out of the black for a moment, and you're not even up next to the wall until a few car lengths before the start finish line. Or you're kind of pointing a little bit more towards the wall right here, and you go up a little bit sooner. But definitely for exiting turn 4, you don't want to be approaching the wall till you're halfway through the restart zone. Any earlier than that, I guarantee you're destroying the right front. Keep the right front happy to keep your turn in. Keep the right rear happy so you're not dealing with crazy loose off. Heck, you might not even burn the right rear at all. I was thinking we would through those laps, and we did not. So just to really quickly rehash, I would recommend starting off at 56.4 at least for the first few laps, and then kind of find where you're finding your rotation. Maybe tick down to 51.6, 50.8, but for sure, don't bottom it out unless you're really, really sure that you're not going to break it loose under braking. But I very much hope this is helpful. Gonna be back recording guides. What will be the next one up? I believe is Rockingham. Never made a guide for Rockingham. That's a hit or miss track for me. But yeah, definitely expect a Rockingham guide. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the old scan, not the newer Rockingham guide. But good luck this coming week, guys. Anything you want to ask in the comments, feel free to. And I will see you next time around. Take care.